Good morning. We're back. We got another new camera angle going on here. Also, please forgive me because my allergies are just my allergies are kicking my butt this morning, but I'm here, and that's what matters. So the camera angle is a little bit different because I'm using that same OBS Droid Cam thing again, but it's kind of more off to the side. So we'll see how this works. Hello, Wilo Gamer Pro. How are you doing? I think I'm gonna move the chat over here. That way it kind of looks like I'll have to remember to like look at you guys when I'm talking. There's been a lot of experimenting with new setups. Hey, thanks for the subscription. Appreciate you, man. It's very kind of you. All right. How are y'all doing this morning? Good? Everyone hanging in there? Did you guys see there's a new Casey Neistat video? I don't know if any of you guys are Casey Neistat fans, but he's got to be like one of my favorite YouTubers. And he published a new video yesterday. That's like all I want for Christmas. Like if I could have one Christmas present this year, it would be that Casey Neistat starts his vlog again. That would be the ultimate Christmas present. I'm wondering, maybe I should move the camera. Oh, actually, let me put the chat on screen too. I kind of like the chat being on screen. All right. What do we got going on today? You always hear people talk about, you hear people talk about like their email. They're always aiming to get to like inbox zero, you know? And the thing is that my whole professional career, I've lived at inbox zero. Like I never keep shit in my email inbox. It causes me anxiety. So it's crazy to me that people have just like hundreds of thousands of emails sitting in their inbox. I think most people probably use their inbox as most people use their inbox as like a proxy for their to-do list, if I had to guess. Hey, what's up, Wilo Gamer Pro? Yeah, just you on the chat? Well, hey man, I appreciate you being here. Anything you want to talk about? I am kind of interested to know, like, your gamer tag has games in it. Is there actual games that you play? X Lu X Lu Lucids. I think that's how you say your username. What you playing? I'm not playing any video games. When I stream, I very rarely stream games. These days I do two types of streams. So in the mornings, I usually do streams like this, which are like office hours. The point of this is basically just to make myself available to my YouTube community or people on YouTube who want to hang out and talk and work alongside me and shoot the shit. And then the other type of stream I do it's much more like coding focused, where I usually get on stream and sit down and work through something related to programming. It could be exploring a new piece of technology, it could be building something for myself or someone else. But those are kind of the two types of streams I do. I do like to play video games. I just don't usually do it on stream. Hello, Bamboos Club. I made that when I played Minecraft and it just stayed. It's funny how that works, isn't it? Yeah, like my original email was kind of that situation. And then a couple years ago, I was like, you know what? I need a big boy email. So I got my name, steven.freeborn@gmail.com, because I was like, I need something that's semi professional. I don't like this song. Also, I just like to I like to give a couple shout outs on my stream here. So I know there's not very many people here, but the first shout outs I'd like to give are to a couple people who joined my YouTube channel as members. I don't know their real names, but their YouTube channels are Flyfisha and Stefan BP. So first of all, shout out to people that have joined as members on my YouTube channel. It's very cool. And then the other shout out I want to give is whenever I'm on stream, I usually try to play music in the background. And all of that music comes from this website, Lo-Fi Music. And I've tried to track down the fellow who built Lo-Fi Generator. And at this point, I've yet to be able to like thank him directly for building that website. So, which would be pretty cool at some point to actually get to talk to him and tell him like, hey, all that traffic? That's pretty much me probably. Let's see, I have another Sirius account, but I use this one for entertainment. Very cool. What's your Sirius account for? Like, you actually make YouTube content? You should share your YouTube channel here. Maybe other people like what you're making. Let's see. Also, I do have a stand-up at 10, so I'm gonna stream till it's 9:12 a.m. here at the moment. I'm gonna stream till about 10 a.m. So top of the hour, and then I'm gonna jump. How do I? You ever have moments like you ever have moments where you're in a tool or something you've used 100 times and you're trying to use a shortcut, and then it's like all of a sudden your brain has forgotten what the shortcut is? It just happened to me. Let's see. No, but I email people. Oh, I see what you mean. You're talking about emails. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I hate email. I think email is such a bad form of communication in today's world, because email requires people to have like decently long attention spans and be willing to read long form content. And as you know, people today have shit attention spans and don't read long form content. So it's often not a terribly great way to reach people or to communicate something. But the world is so like standardized around email that you sort of have to accept it. Let's see, file, open recent. I'm doing a little bit of TypeScript today, working on automated tests. Good old automated tests. I tell you what, though, I'd much rather write automated tests than do manual testing any day. Let's see. We need to get, check out that branch. Cool. We're up to date, and time to go to work. All right, where were we? Did you guys see that the U.S. government's supposedly going to shut down? Or I guess it has shut down. It shut down at 12:01. I know a lot of people on my stream don't live in the United States, but we go through this every freaking year, or it seems like every freaking year, where we have some melodrama about the government shutting down and one side is standing up to the other side, and it's just exhausting. It's just it's political theater, and it's exhausting. All right, so I need to okay, so let's see. Let's just copy paste. Copy pasta. I have no shame. I copy and pasta a lot of things. But in this case, I'm copying and pasting my own code. So it's it's okay. It's okay to copy and paste whenever you want to, really. I think the problem with copying and pasting is when you copy something and you don't know what you copied or what it does. You know what I mean? When you copy and paste something you don't understand, that's when it becomes problematic. Hey, what's up, Shrek? I'm not gonna jiggle them for you. That's a whole different type of stream. Let's see. Do you recommend? I don't know who that is, so I don't think I could say yay or nay to you, Shrek. Also, nice profile picture, by the way. Did you make that in Banana Nana, or did you make that? Where did you make that? It's definitely AI generated. It definitely looks AI generated to me. But you must have done a good job with the prompt, because it turned out really well. Kate, I think it's an IDE or text editor. Oh, I've literally never heard of it. Never heard of it. The Kate editor is a feature-packed text editor. Oh, interesting. I've literally never heard of this. Did this just come out, or has this been out for a while? Supports over 400 languages. Huh. It's got multi-cursor support. That's a win. You can get LSP support. It's got plugins. Huh. It's been in the Microsoft Store since 2019. Over 24 years ago, the Kate editor, the Kate Wright Devel mailing list started. Huh, it's pretty cool looking. I've never tried it. Let me see. I think it was within KDE. Thank you. I got it from Reddit when the AI first comes out. Oh, nice. Very cool. Yeah, it's a good profile picture. It's clever. It goes along with your YouTube name really well. Yeah, I mean, looking at their website and the pictures, it looks like a really sweet editor. I've never tried it though. To be completely honest, like until January of this year, I had pretty much exclusively been working in Visual Studio Code. Occasionally, I would use Writer or Visual Studio if I was doing something that felt a little heavier, like maybe I needed to debug across multiple threads, or I needed to like analyze a dump file or something like that, which is those are very rare occasions for me in the type of programming and coding I do. It was like I hadn't really expanded out of VS Code until January when I took the plunge into the whole NeoVim rabbit hole. Which, so I didn't know this, but apparently there is a plugin called NVim LSP. No, yeah, NVim LSP config, which is essentially a plugin that helps you easily configure language server protocols in NeoVim. Well, apparently that plugin or that framework, they refer to it as a framework, is being deprecated. So I have to migrate my NeoVim configs to the NeoVim LSP API, and I have a branch out there right now, and everything, I did the migration and everything works except for OmniSharp, and I can't figure out why OmniSharp doesn't work when I migrate it to the new way, which I guess is part of the fun of NeoVim. You just get to solve problems. What happened to your mic? Is the tape just for the aesthetics? What's up, Pablo? Good to see you, man. No, the tape is for, so this microphone, this is a Blue Snowball microphone. I've had it for, it's older than my kids, 10 years or more. And it has this red light on it that's really annoying. And when it's close to your face, you can actually see the red light will like reflect off your face. So I put this black piece of tape on top of it. It's kind of ugly, but it does the job. Fish Gaming, you got fished. Okay, man. Well, cheers to you. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday, Fish Gaming. VS Code is solid. I used with Python 2 years ago, but haven't touched since. I forgot programming. Oh man, you forgot programming? That sucks. It'll come back to you. It's like riding a bike. Pablo, we are back to the code editor war era. Just use whatever allows you to type code. 100%. Pablo, if there's a camp if there's a faction in the code editor war era, that's the faction I'm in, which is like, use whatever editor or tool that you want to use. You know, whatever brings you joy and you find productivity in, do that. Like right now, I'm using Visual Studio Code at the moment, and the only reason is that's just what I opened. I could have just used NeoVim too, but I chose. I guess I don't know. My brain must have been thinking Visual Studio this morning. Shrek, what are you coding? Right now I'm working on automated tests. So when I do office hour streams, I actually like work during the office hour streams, and my day job, I work as a. Also, if you guys want to find me on LinkedIn, you can connect with me on LinkedIn if you're one of them professional bros. But my day job is as a quality engineer, so I pretty much do manual and automated testing. And for automated testing, we actually use Playwright, and we author it in TypeScript. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. Not Aiden. Which website for coding? Are you saying to learn coding? If you want to learn coding, go to https /freecodecamp, freecodecamp.org, if you want to learn to code. What's your username? There you go. Try that. That's where I send everybody to. I remember when it was Sublime versus Vim versus Atom versus Notepad++ or whatever. Yeah, see, I didn't even, like, I'm just, again, like, I came to programming so late, so I don't even remember any of that, because I wasn't even concerned with programming or coding when all that was happening. But I have tried to use Atom, and I have tried to use Notepad++, and those are fine. Obviously, I use Vim semi-regularly, because that's what I have on all the servers that I deploy to. I've never used Sublime, but I'm pretty sure that's the editor DHH talks about using all the time, or did before he made the switch to Linux. Shrek, what do you recommend for non-programmers? Should I learn C? It might be a hobby for me. It's not work related. Well, I guess if it's a hobby for you, I would recommend learning whatever language you're interested in. I mean, that's more like me, right? Like, I obviously use TypeScript at work, but learning C sharp, learning Go, all those languages, like, I don't really learn them because I'm trying to get a job with them. I learn them because I'm interested in them. So if you're interested in C and writing low level code, go for it. Pablo, I'm on Cursor because that's what the company pays for. Well, nice, yeah. I've heard good things about Cursor. Um, I've never used it myself. I'm in the AI powered editor situation. I'm heavily in the Copilot ecosystem. Which also Copilot has a CLI now. CLI. Which I haven't installed yet. There's also Sublime looks great, but I think it was paid. Oh, interesting. Okay. Hey, how are you? Hope you remember me. Hey, Ben John. I'm good, man. Good to see you. Shrek W3 Schools is amazing. Yes, W3s is great too. I think if you're interested in learning like JavaScript, or if you're interested in learning web development, I think Free Camp's curriculum is really great because it's very structured. It has real time, very quick feedback loop, very early on. So like you feel the effects of your learning almost immediately. And then honestly, I would rather prefer W3 is fine, but if I was to send somebody to someplace on the web like that, I would probably send them to the MDN docs. The MDN docs they're a wealth of knowledge, and they're kind of the source of truth in a lot of ways, in my opinion. I don't follow DHH, don't like the dude. I go see his projects as great contributions. I do see his projects, but can't support DHH. Yeah, yeah, he's definitely one of those kinds of people you either like him or you don't like him. He is doing a lot of cool stuff for Linux. I agree with you there. His projects, the open source ecosystem, are pretty cool, and obviously Ruby on Rails too, right? That's a whole thing. Everyone is doing CLIs, yeah, for sure. Everyone. Well, I also saw this, Pablo. I think maybe you had mentioned this to me. It's called Sidekick. Sidekick. It's a plugin for NeoVim that basically allows you to bring your AI chat tool of choice. Let me see. At Pablo. I don't know if you I feel like somebody had mentioned that in stream to me before, but I think I'm going to try to set that up for NeoVim Sidekick because it looks really cool. So I think I'm going to give that a go at some point. Mohammed, hi bro, I found your channel a few days back. Your videos are very nice. Keep rocking. Well, Mohammed, those are the kindest comments that I ever get on YouTube. So thank you very much for watching any of my stuff, and thanks for stopping by the stream to say that. It's very kind. Appreciate you. Shrek, what do you think about self-taught programmers? Is the job market fair for these kinds of people? I think so. I mean, I'm a self-taught programmer and developer. My degree is in biochemistry. I didn't really start learning to code seriously until like 2020, and I never got paid to write a line of code until 2 or 3 years ago. So, yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with self-taught programmers. I think programming and coding in most cases, for most jobs, is more similar to like a plumber, a carpenter, an electrician. It's much more similar to a trade than it is something like being a doctor, in my opinion. Or maybe you put doctors in the trade. I mean, doctors have tangible skills. And what I mean by this is, what I'm trying to express by that is, if you're a programmer or a developer, you don't need a piece of paper to certify your abilities. Like you can just demonstrate your work, right? Same way a plumber, electrician, a carpenter, like they will know you by your deeds, right? So you don't need a piece of paper to co-sign for you. If you know how to build software, like you can just show people, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. I know how to implement this. I know how to implement that. I've built XYZ things. So I think the job market is as fair as it's ever going to be to anybody ever. uh, hey, what's up, ABC? BDE? uh, oh, I saw that one recently. I don't think I shared it. Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm going to try to set that up. It looks pretty nice. And I've been looking for something like that to add to my NeoVim configuration. Because sometimes it is nice to have your chat right there in your editor. So I'm going to give that a go, I think. Although I'm curious how nicely it plays with, because I have the Copilot plugin already. So I'm curious if it plays nice with the Copilot plugin or not. I might have to remove that. Sorry, I fell behind on the chat here. Do you take notes while studying? Ben John said, do you take notes while studying something new? I've been using Markdown for it recently. Yes. So when I'm learning something new, typically I have Obsidian open and I'll just open a blank page, and my notes aren't the most polished things, but it's purely just there for me to capture things that come to mind or maybe things that I want to remember. But yeah, notes are great. Is cybersecurity a viable path nowadays, especially with bug bounty? I think cybersecurity is, yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any field in computing or technology right now that's not a viable path. I know people want to say there are because of the whole AI craze, but I think if you're interested in a particular field, like, I don't know about you, but I still go to lots of companies' websites, and there's lots of people are hiring for engineers of all sorts. So, yeah, I think it's definitely viable. Let's see. I have been working in a call center now. Have been looking to transition to backend development with Java. Do you think it is a good idea considering AI in the market? Oh, hit it right on the head. So ABC, I think if you want to become a backend Java programmer, go for it. I think you have to be realistic though that like the market is the market, and right now the market is heavily leaning into AI driven development, right? CEOs, executives, they want to be able to tout their usage of AI and how it's transforming their business. And right now, a really good place for AI tools to be implemented is in the software engineering space. And so there is kind of a push at the moment in the market to do less with more by leveraging AI. So I think you could become a back-end Java programmer. Might take you longer. You might have to apply for a lot of jobs. You might have to interview a lot. But if it's what you want to do, you can do it. You're just going to have persistence and enthusiasm to see it through. Let's see. The reason I don't support DHH is because he has some racist and transphobic views. So I just ignore his person, love what he's doing with Omar. Yeah, and I mean, I respect that, Pablo, because like that's the nature of humans, right? That they are flawed. And so everybody kind of comes with bad and good, and being mature enough to like see the bad, disagree with it, condemn the bad, but also being able to recognize the good things they contribute. Yeah, it's tough. Mohammed, is learning bash scripting by the way, I'm a fresher who's searching for a job. I think bash scripting is helpful. I personally have taken bash courses, but whenever I sit down to write a bash script, I have to do a lot of chat GPTing or Geminiing. I have to do a lot of AI asking because I don't write bash regularly enough for it to be like ingrained into my fingertips. But I definitely think there's something to be said about knowing how to write scripts in whatever scripting language is provided by your OS, right? So if you're on Windows and you know PowerShell, wonderful. If you're on Linux and you know Bash, awesome, right? Because the benefit there is that's the thing available to you out of the box without having to install other things. So you can leverage it right away. So I think it's helpful to know, maybe you don't have to be an expert, but to know it's there, to know roughly how you could use it in certain ways, I think it's useful. Adwaith. Hello, Adwaith. How are you doing? Rohith. I'm learning C# to prepare for a full stack role. I have experience with React, Node.js, Nest.js, and some Spring Boot with Java. I'm now switching to .NET for upcoming interviews. Very cool, Rohith. Well, I hope first of all, I hope your interviews go well. Second of all, it sounds like you have tons of experience, so you should kick the shit out of these interviews. And then third, that's awesome to hear that you've come to the .NET ecosystem, and I hope you love it here. I think the .NET ecosystem can be overwhelming to some folks just because it is pretty deep and wide, and .NET went through kind of a rough transition point, 10 years ago when they made the switch from .NET Framework to .NET Core and all that. But now I think .NET's in just a really, really, really awesome place. So I hope you enjoy being there. Hey, what's up, Shiv? It's a long time. You're looking great. Well, I appreciate that. I my biggest concern with looking great is more for my wife. As long as my wife thinks I'm halfway decently good looking, that's kind of what I'm aiming for. So, but good to see you, Shiv. Appreciate you stopping by to say hi. Pablo, yeah, I prefer supporting people that don't hate other people and other people's views, but I still think that people that don't fit into that category can still contribute a lot to society. Agreed. Actually, Pablo, it's kind of interesting you say that because I often use this as a story whenever things like this come up because I think it's very interesting. So you can kind of see back behind me, I have a poster of Albert Einstein, and I'm an Albert Einstein fan, and I think what he did in his field as a professional, but like having read his biography, the Walter Isaacson biography, and having watched the Apple TV series that's based on that biography, there's things I really admire about Einstein, and there are things that I don't like about Einstein. I don't like the way he treated his first wife or the daughter he had with his first wife. Like, there's some things about his personal life that I just disagree with. I would never co-sign on, but that doesn't mean I'm going to throw out the good things that I could take away from his life. There's also Einstein has a friend from that same era of time. He was a scientist as well named Fritz Haber. And Fritz Haber is kind of a crazy story because he won the Nobel Prize in 1918. He won the Nobel Prize for inventing a way to synthesize ammonium from nitrogen and gas. Literally, using air to pull out ammonium. And this was important because it allowed us to create synthetic fertilizers. And at that point in time in history, there was kind of a food crisis in Europe. And the ability to have synthetic fertilizers basically helped us avoid famines and starvation. However, you fast forward 20 years or so, Fritz Haber makes a horrible decision to actually work for the Nazi Party, and is actually the man who basically kicks off chemical warfare and all the horrible things that happen in that era of the world, or at that era of time and in that parts of the world related to chemical warfare. Obviously, all the terrible things the Nazis did, and that's just like that's an example where it's like, what do you do with that, right? Like, what do you do with a human being like that? Where it's like, on one hand, he contributed something that saved tons of people from starvation, and at the other hand, he contributed something that ended up destroying tons of people. And so, yeah, I know that's extreme compared to like what we're talking about with DHH, Pablo, but that's a person from history that I often think about, where I think, yeah, humans are just so complex, and there's such a duality there. Ben John, hey, I've been trying to get out of using code suggestions or Copilot because I kind of feel that I'm no longer trying to solve a problem, but leaning more towards AI helping me. Do you feel that way? 100%, Ben. Actually, I have Copilot disabled right now in NeoVim and in VS Code because of that. I over the last month or so, I was like, you know what? I need to take some time away from using AI autocomplete. And so I've just purely been using Gemini and Copilot in the chat window, like in the chat interface. I just felt like I needed a break from tab, 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 tab. And it's been good. Now, that doesn't mean that there isn't a time and place to turn it on when you want to be uber productive and kind of run through some code, but I definitely concur that like you write code long enough with Copilot turned on and all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, do I remember how to write a for loop? ABC, can you name the series at Apple on Einstein? Is it Genius? Yeah, Genius. Yeah, that's the series, and the series is good. The book's even better. So the Walter Isaacson biography on him is even better. Uh, yeah, it's really good. But the series is interesting. Obviously, like anytime you have a visual, right, which is nice, but Shiv, are you working on agentic AI? Right now I'm not. Right now I'm actually working on writing automated tests, so nothing fancy or exciting here. I did start to work on so at work I've done over the last year and a half, a couple years now at this point, been working pretty heavily on AI related things tangentially. And so I have a lot of thoughts about implementing AI and using AI to do agentic things. And so I was laying in bed the night before last and I had this idea to basically let's make a video about what AI agents really are. So I'm on stream right now. I'm basically working through like what code I want to present and what I want to talk about in those videos. I think it's going to be like a 4 or 5 part series where I basically walk through like, okay, let's try to build the simplest embodiment of what an AI agent is, right? Like, let's take an LLM, let's write some code, some deterministic code, let's expose that code to the LLM through some sort of tool calling, and let's run it in a loop, right? And the point is to try to demystify what AI agents are. You hear people talk about it. Oh, we're doing agentic AI, and we have AI agents that do all this crazy stuff, and it's like there's not a ton special there. I mean, there is some complexities to AI agents when you start talking about like how do you persist memory and how do you handle exceeding context token lengths and how many tools can you give an agent before it sort of degrades in performance. So there are some complexity there, but at the very simplistic, right? I just want to like kind of strip away all the marketing hype and all the layers of abstraction and just kind of get to like the core of it. It's like you're making an API request to LLM, you're providing some tools that it can provide inputs to. Then in your code, you're calling that those tools, right? And then you're running it in the loop. You're letting the user give input. So that's what the agentic stuff I'm working on stream is about. Pablo, we agree a lot. Nice to see that. Yeah, so I'm sure there are things we disagree on, but at the moment, um, it sounds like we share the same ideals there. Where like you don't have to necessarily agree with everything somebody says or does. I mean, obviously there's definitely a line, right? There's definitely a line, but you can still appreciate their positive contribution somebody makes. I think that's actually probably something more people need to try to do today. Look at this. My wife just sent me this text. There's a That's at my kid's school. I have no idea why there's a R2D2 pink R2D2 drone at my kid's school, but that's pretty sweet. Rohit. So Gemini versus ChatGPT, which one do you feel is good for dev? Um, I don't know. I haven't used ChatGPT enough for code related stuff to give a good advice, Rohit. Um, I use Copilot primarily for code related stuff, and then I use Gemini a lot for chat related things, if that makes sense. So like search or talking about a particular topic, or like I use Gemini sometimes if I want to brainstorm like implementation stuff. The nice thing about Copilot is like you can switch between models from all the different providers, which is nice. But I personally pay for Copilot and I pay for Gemini. And the main reason I decided to pay for a Gemini subscription is I was already giving Google $10 a month for Google Drive, and it was like $10 more to get everything I was already doing, and then I also get the Gemini functionality. So that's why I bought the Gemini subscription. It was just kind of like I was already ingrained in their environment or in their ecosystem. Pablo. I like your take back to Benjon about when to enable and disable AI, because that's where I've kind of landed too. Is like using AI in your editor is all context dependent. It's like if your goal is to implement something and be productive, like you're at work and your bosses are on you to like, hey, you need to leverage AI to increase efficiency. Turn that bitch on. um, but if like you're sitting down to learn Rust for the first time, or you're sitting down to write Go for the first time, or explore some new API or some new library, turn it off. So I like that rule of thumb a lot. Hello, Ramsey. Good to see you again. Shumito, Crush CLI. It's awesome. I've never heard of that. What is it? Crush CLI? I'm not sure what that is. Crush CLI. The glamorous AI coding agent. Ah, interesting. Okay, so it's a AI powered, and I'm guessing you could probably bring your own LLM. So this is similar to the one that I've seen is called Open Code. So there's kind of a similar idea here. Yeah, everyone's bringing AI to the terminal. Yeah, once you have a job, once you have a job, productivity starts being important. You need to use AI. Exactly, and I think that problem is like companies are over indexing on AI at the moment. And Pablo can probably speak to this because he is actually works full time as an engineer at a company. But like my perception is that a lot of companies are shoving AI tools onto engineers and like requiring them to use it, and then also requiring that it leads to some increase in velocity of the development process. So yeah, from a like there's nothing you can do there, right? You're an employee. The market is the market. The job is the job. Your manager is your manager. Like you just have to adapt, right? Doesn't mean it's always going to be this way. Like in 5 years, companies might be like, I'm tired of paying for cursor licenses. It's not, it's not worth it, right? And but at the moment, we're kind of this is, we have to deal with the way the world is and not the way we wish it to be. I've always wondered whether companies allow the use of AI tools on work laptops. I think most companies now are purchasing some AI tool of some sorts because they know their employees are already using AI tools of some sort, right? So it's like as a company, you have two options. You can create a policy and have an approved set of tools that you have control over and provide to your employees, or you can not do that and your employees are still going to use AI tools, but they're going to use unapproved ones that you have no control or visibility into. So I definitely think most companies nowadays are letting people use AI tools. They just are work sanctioned specifically. Um, like at my work, we our work sanctioned Gemini tools is we can use Gemini. We have a Gemini subscription as part of our kind of like Google Workspace account, and then for code related stuff, Copilot is allowed. But the reality is, as a company, if you're not providing those things, I guarantee, if your engineers are probably already using some AI tool, and I guarantee your workers are using ChatGPT or they're using Claude, and you just don't know about it. Shumito, it's just the client, right? Are you talking about OpenCode? Yeah, OpenCode is it's like this Crush CLI tool that you sent me. It's basically you can bring your own LLM sort of situation, which I think is cool. I think there's definitely going to be a place for that, right? My problem is I don't need to switch between all the different AIs. In my opinion, I'm good. I'll pay for Gemini and I'll use the Gemini CLI and whatever tools they provide, and um, I'll pay for Copilot and I'll use whatever tools Microsoft provides for Copilot. So I don't have need for something like OpenCode or Crush CLI beyond just like experimenting with it and exploring it. I don't really have a need for the ability to like hook up 1,001 different LLMs or LLM providers. Probably, yeah, we're not seeing any increased productivity, but overall engineers are somewhat happier. Interesting. Okay, that's very cool. While maybe it's because I don't know how to use AI properly, but I feel it does not work as good as people say. I feel that I find the bugs by myself while trying to make the AI understand what my code does. Yeah, I think Wilo Gamer Pro, I think there is some skill to like effectively using AI to code. Because like I watch people who use Cursor on YouTube videos, or I watch people who use some of these CLI tools in YouTube videos, and I'm like, that's clever, right? So there is some skill in terms of like how you prompt it and what context you give it and yada yada yada. So I think there is a spectrum of like how much can you get out of these things. But I agree with you. I think sometimes the effectiveness of some of these tools is overstated. I'm in the middle. Like I'm a moderate on the whole AI thing. I'm like, AI is great. All these tools are wonderful. They're super powerful. They can be helpful in a lot of different situations. But at the same time, am I like a maximalist? No, not at all. Yeah, you can ban them, and then your competition will use them, move faster, or have happier devs. Yeah, 100%. You're right. You're only shooting yourself in the foot. Open code prompts are great. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. That's kind of their secret sauce. Is the prompts they're using? That's interesting. I need to do a little bit more investigation there. Hey, what's up, Tall? It's been a minute. I see your profile picture changed too. So hope you're doing all right. Let's see. Have you used OpenAI's API or their SDK? Yes, I have used OpenAI's API before. Uh, Not as much though as I've used. So the provider that I've used the most is Anthropic. That's the API I have the most experience with. And then second to that would be Gemini's API, which holy shit, the Gemini API's documentation, it's awful. That's awful, man. It's really really bad. And the documentation is heavily leans into their SDKs. So like if you are trying to write something in .NET or like a non SDK provided language, trying to figure out what to do and what's available to you, and from like a REST perspective, like just looking at like the raw REST API requests and responses, is such a pain in the ass with Gemini API's docs. They're terrible. But They do have a generous free tier, which is nice. And then obviously third to that would probably be OpenAI. I just haven't used them as much, but I have used them before. Animal Comedy. Who are you? Animal Comedy. My name is Steven. I live in Kansas, and occasionally I like to make content on the internet. Particularly right now, I make content around programming, technology, with the things I'm learning, the things I'm doing. And yeah, other than that, I'm just a 32-year-old dad of two who likes to play, uh, who likes to spend his free time on the internet as a hobbyist web developer. Now I'll ask you, Animal Comedy, who are you? Pablo, not a secret sauce, open source. Oh, very cool. So I have to go take a look then. Yeah. Why low gamer? AI prompting is a skill by itself, but I agree that AI is very useful, but maybe not in every case. Yeah, the thing I get frustrated with from the prompting perspective is it just feels so much like a game sometimes, where it's like, how do I tickle this LLM just right with the right amount of words, right, in the right order to get it to predict what I want it to predict on the other end? That I don't. Whenever I find myself in that situation where it's like, oh man, how do I massage this prompt just right? Then I'm like, then I kind of get over it. Like I'm kind of like, okay, I'm moving on. Yeah, agreed, Pablo. Yep, we can't deny, you cannot deny the impacts of AI, for sure, for sure. Then, John, mostly we use AI for documentation or any kind of automation for any business workflows. We have Copilot available, but I chose not to use it. Copilot is kind of intrusive. It's just me. Yeah, Ben, hey man, it's like the editor thing we said earlier. Like you use the tools you want to use, right? Obviously, when you're at work, your ability or your freedom to choose what tools to use might be more limited, but uh, yeah, you shouldn't feel any shame for making decisions about how you want to work. Have to go in a minute. Nice chatting with you. I'll see you around. See you, Pablo. I have to go too here in a minute, actually. I've got stand up at 10 a.m., so I've got about 5 more minutes. Shimido, did you try the new Copilot CLI? I have not. That's actually, I actually was, as soon as I get off this stream, I'm going to install it and probably give it a little bit of a go. Maybe a little bit later today, I'll play around with it. But yeah, I'm definitely going to install it. I mean, the thing is, I pay $10 a month for Copilot, so I would be a dumb consumer if I didn't try the new features and tools that I'm paying to help develop, right? So yeah, so I'll definitely try it. I have the Gemini CLI installed that I use occasionally. I still My biggest use of AI is still two places. I use AI in my editor for tab completion. That's still that's and then my second biggest use is in the actual web-based or the mobile apps of the actual chat interface. Like I'll use Gemini, the Gemini app, or the Gemini app in a browser, or I'll use Copilot's web interface. Those are kind of the two biggest interactions with AI still today at this point. ABC, you must have been at least 25 when you started programming. I'm in the same boat as you. It really helps me see where you are. So yeah, so I started learning to, so I took as a senior in college, so this would have been 2014 to 2015, I took computer programming 1 and computer programming 2 as elective. So I would have been like 22, 23 years old. That was like my kind of the first times I actually wrote any code. Let's see, in 2018, so that would have been, I'd have been 26, 27. I took a free course on Coursera from Duke University that was all about like basic HTML, JavaScript, CSS. All that time though, I was working in food science. I was working as a research and development scientist. and I was just dabbling in programming because I was getting ready to, I just had my kids and I was trying to think about careers and jobs that would allow me to have more time at home. Then in 2021 is when I got really serious about really learning how to code. So that would have been, how old would I have been? 2021, I would have been 29, 2018. Well, in 2015, I'm 23. So what's the math there? It says 6 years. Yeah, so 29, about 29 years old. So yeah, that's when I started. And I've heard stories of people who started to learn how to code like in their 40s, right? So like it's never too late to learn a new skill. Let's see. In NeoVim, Folk released also. Oh, Shamita, we actually just brought that up earlier. I'm gonna try out Sidekick as well. I have to figure out though if Sidekick. So right now in NeoVim, I have the Copilot plugin. So I need to figure out if I need to figure out if I need to get rid of the Copilot plugin or disable it if I have Sidekick running alongside it. So I'm gonna have to do some exploration, but I'm definitely gonna check that out. Do you think SQA engineer demand is as high as developers? How you compare it? Should a developer consider starting to move to SQA at the start of their career? What's SQA? SQA engineer. Is that like software quality assurance? I think there's still going to be a demand for all the different trades in the development life cycle. I think it much more has to do with what you as an individual want to spend your time doing, right? That's I think what's most important. Talha. I don't know why, but I like using VS Code or NeoVim with my own customizations. Hey man, I'm with you. Rohith, waiting for your review on GitHub CLI. Okay, yeah. Well, the GitHub CLI is awesome, but I'm thinking you're talking about the Copilot CLI. So, yeah, once I give that a try, I'll definitely let you know what I think. Shamito, yep, and also sidekick.mvim. So you have a couple of videos you can create. Yes. So we need to do a video on Sidekick, and then we need to do a video on the Copilot CLI. Yeah, we can do that. See you, Ben. Thanks for hanging out, man. Appreciate you chilling with us. I'm going to have to run too. Oh, it's 10. Yeah, I'm going to have to run. Okay, I got to go, guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. It's already Thursday for you. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. I am going to try to stream this afternoon. Full disclosure, I'm kind of dedicating some of my stream time to helping me develop content for videos. So this afternoon, I'll probably be working on writing some code that illustrates how to build an AI agent. But the whole point of writing that code is basically to try to explore what code I want to present in those videos. So if you're interested in that and you see me live later, please stop in. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, bye y'all. Have a good day.